Obviously, the most important thing that happened this weekend for me is that Julio went deep and hit the ball hard all weekend. He's always had good success against the A's, which is cool. But he hasn't had any success this year. So to see him go out and do it was important. We were debating, I think it was on Friday after you were out, Brock. I had twin pieces of sound. One from someone saying, I think it was John Morosi, saying that the Mariners offense was struggling, that Julio was struggling because there wasn't enough around him. And then we had another piece of sound from, I want to say, Scott Braun saying, no, Julio is the problem. The other guys are struggling because Julio is struggling, and you need your best player to go out there and do his thing. I don't know which one is accurate, to be honest with you. I lean towards the idea that Julio affects everybody else, but I thought this was interesting from Mitch Garver on the field right after the game with Mike Lefko.
Yeah, man, he's a superstar, and you know, he's going to have his ups and downs this year, but he's going to be a staple in this lineup. Once he goes, everybody else will go.
Once he goes, everybody else will go.
I mean, that's my life experience. Every team that I've been around, the teams that I cover, the teams that I watch, the teams that I played with, like, man, when Peyton was going, everybody else is going, right? When your stars are going, and they cover these college games, these pro games, when their QBs are going, Mahomes is going, everybody else is going. Those are kind of football comparisons, but look around baseball. Look at when Acuna is going, the Braves are going. When Judge is going, the Yankees are going. When the best players on those best teams are going, there's just a calm. Right, when Jokic and Murray got going, guess what? They went to Minnesota and won game 3-4. Down 2-0. They're done. The champs are done. Bury them. Oh, I don't know. I mean, once Jokic and Murray get going, all of a sudden, all the rest of the supporting cast.
Yeah. When Ant-Man gets going.
Ant-Man had like 47 last night.
Yeah, see? When Ant-Man goes.
Yeah, but that wasn't that wasn't to be, because the other two stars on a championship title carrying team, when they got going, the rest of those.
I learned who Ant-Man was just earlier this morning, so now I'm excited to talk about him.
Ant-Man is ridiculous.
Is he?
Yes.
Huh.
And by the way, we'll get to this little thing in Blue 88. That dude could be a strong safety, a linebacker, a rush end, a tight end, and a running back in the NFL. But yeah, nice to see Julio get it going forward.
And it wasn't just Julio, right? The whole team did hit pretty well all weekend. They scored a bunch of runs on Friday, a bunch of runs yesterday. Saturday, they hit the ball hard. I heard Scott say on Friday after the game, hey, we have a good hitting team. We just haven't shown it yet. And, that's easy for him to say and a lot harder for, I think, a lot of Mariners fans to believe. But if your life experience and Mitch Garver's commentary there are both accurate, it is interesting that as poorly as they've hit, they've done it all basically without Julio, which means this roster has covered for him enough to put this team in first place as we sit here on May 13th.
Who is their best power hitter in this lineup? Who's
Julio.
the best? Julio's the best power hitter. He had one home run through 40 games.
Yes.
It's pretty simple. When this team does not hit a home run, they're 3-10. And we've seen those games. They score 2 or less runs, they're 3-10.
That's probably true of most teams.
When this team hits a home run, they're 19-9. Right? I mean, it's a pretty simple, like just hit a home run or 2 or 3. Just hit, if they hit 1 or more home runs, they're 19-9. Like, you just feel like watching this team this year. Right, with the quality of their pitching, some of the other guys, like Rojas, who's just been awesome. The other role players are doing their thing. But if the power guys hit home runs, you're going to give yourself a great chance to win. And 19-9 when they hit 1 or more home runs.
Second thing that happened this weekend, unfortunately, wasn't as good of news, and that was Brian Wu leaving the game on Friday. And I do wish I felt better about it. I don't. I'm glad, Brock, that he was able to make his next bullpen session. He may very well be just fine. 8 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour lost on his fastball inning to inning is certainly a cause for some level of concern. And I'm a nervous Nelly when it comes to pitcher injuries. Certainly anything involving the elbow, the forearm, anything like that, just because of how long it takes to come back from it. Yeah. But, okay, rather than debating whether or not, the future looks good for Brian Wu, which we're not doctors, we're not his doctors, we haven't examined him. Everyone wants to deal for hitting, and they want to deal pitching for hitting. And I know that Bump and Stacy had Jim Bowden on the other day, and Bowden was trying to say, "Oh yeah, this is the direction to go."
You got one of the best baseball guys in Jerry Dipoto. There's no doubt, and there's not anyone outside of AJ Preller of the Padres that wants to wheel and deal more than Jerry. But he's going to have to make a painful trade or two. He's going to have to trade one of his starting pitchers that's in the big leagues. And he's going to have to trade 2 of his best prospects in the farm system because the window to win is today. Don't bank on next year or the year after. Nobody can put this pitching staff together, and when you do, you better win.
Whew, that one's going to be hard for me, man.
Hard,
That
man.
is going to be really hard for me right there. Prospects, I think that, if you want to get better, you're going to have to deal some of these prize prospects that you've stashed all together now at single A, or maybe a couple of the guys who are ahead of them. But generally, you need more than 5 or even 6 starting pitchers to get through it. And, Brian Wu leaving that start in the 5th inning is, while maybe it's not a major concern, is certainly a reminder that he's not a sure thing or anything close to it. He's got a level of fragility, and it's rare for a whole rotation to stay healthy anyway. Yes, they do need to acquire a bat or two. Nobody's disagreeing there. But do you really need to sacrifice major league ready pitching to do it?